Okay, hey guys, and welcome back. So this is episode 8 of our Reign of the Warlock review series. So we're just going to explore a little bit more gameplay in this episode. So we're just going to take him down to hell, where he can really test his mettle against the difficulty of the game, so you guys can get a good idea of what he performs like end game. So like I said in the previous episode, guys, I'm not fully leveled up. I'm only level 71. And as a matter of fact, when I'm level 75, I'm going to equip the Bone Break Sunder Grand Charm for the monster physical immunity being sundered. And that'll go a long ways to making Echoing Strike more viable versus physical immune monsters, right? So that we don't have to swap out for Lacerator and we can continue to use... let's hope we didn't put it somewhere silly. We can continue to use our call to arms. 5 battle orders. There we go, 6 battle orders. So we'll put that back for now. We'll swap that. We'll stick with that for now. This is another item I wanted to showcase before we get into the gameplay. So if you guys will note, the shield is level 35 required. Pretty common, right? I've had 2 of these drop in the last couple of days. It's called Lance Guard. The main stat we're looking at, although there's a nice boost to life in the form of 50 hard life, is the 20% deadly strike. So I don't know why I was under the impression that this was a 35% deadly strike item. Perhaps that was from maybe I'm misremembering or one of the mods I used to play, but either way, even at 20%, I can tell you right now this is the only shield that will give you deadly strike. So if you're not already hitting your top end, like I'm already at 90 something percent deadly strike, right? See, 92%. So, but if I was lower, and I didn't want to use the Phoenix, I would heavily suggest or recommend to you guys to use Lance Guard. I would really consider it myself. And in fact, when I was leveling up and I was using like the Insight as my main weapon and everything, I was using the Lance Guard until I had enough strength to wear my Phoenix Monarch here. Alright, what other items can I show you guys? This one I was just testing to see if the slows target by 75% was working. And I think it only works on like Mirror Blade, like where you're actually swinging the weapon at your enemy. I don't think Echoing Strike actually has any of the chance to cast or any of the other modifiers like slows target, etc. transfer over. Some of the content creators do seem to think that Deadly Strike works on Echoing Strike, but that might be one of the only mods that transfers over to the skill. So TBD, right? Further testing is required. We've got Iceman hard at work and other content creators, in the Diablo Testing Institute of Greatness or whatever he calls it. More gameplay is required, more research is required for us to figure out, how items pair with skills and how skills regard certain modifiers. A lot of skills work with some modifiers, but not others, like is the case with like Dragon Talon or Blade Fury or any of those as well, right? So, like I said, if you'll notice, guys, we're in hell difficulty now. I haven't even put up my call to arms yet. And like we're already just dominating, right? We've got 40k, we've got the Enigmon so we can teleport. We've got the 53k damage. That's it's 53k, but it's also constantly proccing the Deadly Strike, right? So that's really exciting as well. I just don't want this, the monster noises in game to be too loud. Okay, so let's just teleport along here. We'll focus on the main guys. So the reason I'm taking such heavy hits is my resistances are absolutely in the gutter. I haven't focused on building up his defensiveness at all, and I haven't done all my Anya quests. I could be wearing, say, like a 30% Mara's. I could swap this out for Fortitude for the extra resist. I could put an rune instead of the sham. There's different ways, you know, I could wear charms, but I'm just not too worried about that right now. I do have the Anilius here, 13 resists, mostly for the XP mod, right, at 10%. But we will, like, once we hit endgame, for me, endgame is like level 80 plus, level 80, 85 plus, something like that. Once we start hitting the endgame, I will start to refine his gear, his charms, and everything like that. In the meantime, I don't care too much about dying. I'm only level 71. I'm not going to get penalized very hard. And, you know, just leveling up, you know, just having fun with the character, seeing what he can do. So let's get that Mana Shrine, and then let's go down to the Plains of Despair. So we're looking for Izul, and we found him already, so that was lucky. Boom, see, he's already gone, and this is hell difficulty, right? Like, and this death is a pretty easy to obtain rune word if you know what you're doing when you play. If you know you gotta insistently farm cows. I remember there was one afternoon this past summer I was playing like hardcore or something, and I was doing hell cows, right? I was just running hell cows all afternoon. Well, I found 2 gold runes within the span of like 5 minutes in hell cows. So, and if you cube up 2 gold runes, you can get the Vex rune, and so all you need is 1 gold and a Vex, or in the case of upgrading, you just need 3 gold runes, 2 to make the Vex and 1 for the gold. So this is a very attainable rune word. I've made it many times, many seasons by myself, even without trading, without, you know, sites that shall not be named and things like that, without in-game trading, just, you know, MFing along, playing PVM, largely solo play, and you just do eventually find these runes if you're playing like the terrorized zones, if you're killing bosses a lot. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, right? But for all the people who complain about, oh, I never find anything, or, you know, I have cursed drops, or whatever you guys are thinking, well, the truth is you're just not magic finding the right areas. And like, for example, say you're looking for like a specific item, right? Instead of just willy-nilly magic finding all over the game hoping for the best, you can do a simple Google search, right? And generally, the Gemini or AI or the Google search results or whatever will come back and give you an answer to your query, and the answer will say, you know, if you're looking for like a 4-socketed Monarch shield, Hell Cows is the best place, best area to farm. Things like that. So now you know if you're looking for like a specific item, if you have a targeted item that you're trying to magic find for, you have to do it strategically, and you have to know the areas you're farming. Anyway, let's continue here. So I just wanted to do more of a gameplay showcase for you guys, to show you just how strong this character can truly be. So you just saw how easily we defeated Izul. I think it honestly took like 1 or 2 shots. I wasn't even looking. It's like, imagine you're just passively doing Hell Izul because he's just that easy. So that's what playing this build feels like. It's a little bit autopilot because, okay, we have an immune, so we're just gonna have to get our amp damage. Alright, let's just go to town for a second here. And we gotta get our amp damage item here, like the lacerator. We were using it in the last game as well. So just throw that on and go to mirrored blades here. Where is he? There he is. So you see how easy that was, guys? I just amped him. Took no time at all. Swapped out. Done. So that's been my favorite trick to deal with the immunes, at least until I can wear the physical Sunder Charm. 3 more levels, right? You gotta be 75. So 3 more levels and then it shouldn't be a problem anymore. But until then, I can use this neat little trick. If I wanted to, right? I could even just keep Lacerator in my cube and take it around with me, so I don't have to town portal every time like I've been doing. So at this point, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the rest of my skill points. I think I'm satisfied with this at level 15. I heard other content creators say that the critical strike starts to suffer after about level 15. So it sounds like this one, you know, if you really want to max it out, if you have the spare points, okay. But I've already got the synergies for Echoing Strike both maxed out at Blade Warp and Mirrored Blades. With my prerequisites. So I think what I want to do with the rest of my skills actually is go to the demon skill tree, and I want to invest until I have at least one into consume and one into bind demon. And that's because you can get some really cool secondary benefits from consuming demons, like you know, enhanced damage or plus skills or plus the crushing blow or things like that, depending on the demon. I'm yet to see it, but possibly you can even benefit from their auras and things that they have prior to consumption. Like I said, I haven't experimented yet with it, so at this point that's just a guess. But you know, that would be cool if they were like Fanaticism Enchanted, and you know, you could take that on, and then if they also had like Aura Enchanted with like amp damage or Decryptify, one of those really OP curses, you know, then potentially you could become a real wrecking ball, right? So again, guys, as I slice through these monsters like hot butter, I just want you to remember that we are in fact playing hell difficulty. Yes, this is players 1, but I mean, considering how absolutely abysmal my resists are and even my hit points, it's pretty impressive that we're doing as well as we are, right? So again, it all comes down to having just ridiculous damage and not struggling to really cut through any of the content. It's quite easy to power through, actually. So you know, if you don't have a lacerator or a source of amplified damage that you can use for the physical immunes, you could just like literally just pass them. You know, you don't have to kill every single monster. I know a lot of us are like completionists and you want to open every chest and kill every monster, but I mean, like, you can still do all of the content until you can wear your Sunder or get your Lacerator or whatever amp damage source you want. Maybe it's the new Dreadfang sword, the new unique that they introduced. You know, maybe it's like a cool rare item with a lot of enhanced damage and an amplified damage chance. You know, a lot of them come with 5% chance to cast amp damage, so it could be something like that. Maybe it's like an ethereal rare you made from Charcy's Imbue quest, right? There's a lot of different options. That's kind of what I'm enjoying best about Warlock right now, is it is like what Blizzard promised, in the sense that they said it was a sandbox character, and I am really understanding what they meant by that. You can really just kind of play him the way you want, right? If you want to go the summoning route and feel more like a necromancer kind of thing, you know, then you can do the demon summoning tree and maybe some of his like curse type skills. If you want to play more like a melee type, you can do what I'm doing and do like an echoing strike build, or even like a mirrored blades build. Some people are keeping things simple and they're just doing like a cleave build. So cleave doesn't have as much damage output, but you know, for certain use cases it's very, very good, right? Like say you're farming Travancore or something like that. I can just see cleave being very useful for certain use cases. So again, guys, we just have to equip our item here. One of these guys is immune here, right? So we just gotta amp him. So there we go, he's amped, and now we're just gonna take him down very easily. So you know, you guys can see I'm getting hit from all sides. I've got no resistances, and I've got very little life leech coming from just like this item, I think. Yeah, literally one source of life leech at 6%, and I'm still staying alive in hell difficulty with no resistances, and like very poor damage as well, you know, hardly anything. My defense, my chance to block basically is non-existent. And even with all these handicaps, I'm still cutting through this like butter, right? So there's something to be said about damage is king, and this is what they're talking about when they say that. I don't need much of anything as far as defensive gameplay goes, as long as I dodge most of the attacks, because I hit so hard that like the moment I see something on screen, it's already dead. Now my mercenary's not as tough, so he's kind of struggling to stay alive. Right, this is not an area friendly to level 72 character, right? It's Hill, Hell Diablo, right? It's probably like more of an 80-85 area, but you know, we rush our characters, and so this is one of the consequences of rushing through the game, is you arrive to these areas much earlier than maybe you should. And that's okay, you know, it just adds a bit of an added challenge. I really enjoy the challenge, so. Alright guys, well I think we're going to just end here for today's video. This is episode number 8, if I'm not mistaken. And we'll come back in episode 9. I think we're going to explore some of the new crafting recipes. So I don't think they're enabled just yet. They might come with the next ladder patch. Or maybe not at all. But anyway, we're going to data mine those new crafting recipes for you guys, and we'll check them out in episode 9 coming up. So that's it for now, guys. Take care. Oh yeah, like and subscribe. Help us grow our channel. We really appreciate it.